Hello, hello, hello. It's Monday and we are with Awaken with the Dragons that we do every single Monday. The purpose of these calls is that you get to see what's lying in your subconscious and what's going on under the surface. And for all of us, because that's why we're here on the planet, is we're constantly being asked to upgrade. And the message over the last couple of weeks with the dragons has also been like zero tolerance for all the stories that you've got going on in the back of your head, so we can release those. Now, the dragons cards are here specifically so that you can actually see what's in the path to be upgraded. Now, that can be upgrading your identity, your opinion of your body and how you react to your body. What kind of relationship have you got with your body? I'm coming from a spectrum of all about dealing with your body, and that's how I became able to feel and be a body whisperer, understand what's behind the symptom that's going on, not just about weight, but I mean sciatica and everything in between. But then also, I mean, for most of us, when we're in business, we come up against a struggle. And when we come up against a struggle, it's really for us to see, right, what's the gift here? What's the gift in the garbage? What is it that I'm being asked to let go of? What am I being asked to look at it in a different perspective? One of the things I always am repeating is, when you create something, we're creating it with our thoughts and feelings, and that goes with your struggles as well. We are the creators. In other words, if you're struggling with something, what I do is I help you see where that struggle's coming from. Often we don't hear it, or we certainly don't allow ourselves to go into the unpretty bits that we don't want to look at. And I myself have seen just two come up just this weekend. I was hiking in the mountains and then something happened and I was like, oh God, I'm so worried if this is taken the wrong way. And there was a lot going on in the background. I'm like, hang on a second. That's just a thought and a feeling. It doesn't have to be that reaction that I get at all. I don't need to be worried about this. And what would I want to create instead? So I created a different scenario. And my friend and I, who were hiking, we got separated because I'd gone up and up and up and up and up to look at this waterfall. So we got separated for the rest of the day. And I was thinking, oh, I hope she's okay with that. But of course, we both weren't. I knew it. But my thoughts and feelings were that I'd let someone down, that things weren't working out. She was going to be a bit miffed. So when I came to meet her, I'd already set in play. I'd already had a very strong image of what this should look like. And she'd be like, hey, did you have a nice afternoon? I said, yeah, I had an awesome afternoon. Sat and had a picnic by the river, sunbathed, really relaxed, awesome. How about you? Yeah, in the forest and looking at these mushrooms and had a really brilliant time. It's like, okay, so I created a different outcome. Whereas if I'd stayed in my thoughts and feelings, like, oh my God, she's going to be so angry that I took so long to go up there. She got bored, she wandered off, we got separated. I didn't look for her, but I did. So you see, your thoughts and your feelings create not only the relationships you have with your friends, with your body, with your finances, with your business. And we really need to get into the nitty-gritty sometimes of what you're really thinking and what you're feeling. Now, not very many people allow themselves to do this, and I know that I've run away from this in certain aspects. So this is why the dragon cards are really good. So if there's something coming up for you, it will come up, it'll be in your subconscious, it's just under the surface, but you're ready to look at it. All these dragon cards is just a what's coming up. So the theme this week that I've been asked to discuss is about up-leveling, upgrading. And this is to do with what frequency are you radiating. This is all about your frequency. If you want to get into the frequency of flow, if you want to get into the frequency of ease with your finances, being flush with your finances, a lot of it has to do with what you're thinking and what you're feeling. However, you can say, but I want it, Fiona. That's absolutely what I want. I want to earn this per month. But there was somewhere in the back there'll be a reason why you haven't got it yet, because we're standing in our own way and there's just something in their belief system there that the worst case scenario, if you actually did get that, if you were as successful as you wanted, your body, your brain, your reptile brain doesn't want you to achieve that. So you keep putting up issues, you keep putting up sabotages, you keep putting up all that kind of thing. So that's the theme for this week. So let's see what cards that the dragons pick for us this week. We have 4 cards every single week, and whichever card you picked, it has a message for you, but also the other cards can have another, just off to an angle, message for you as well. You go, oh yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, of course, I need to do that. What I do is I take you very specifically and very detailedly through what blocks you've got. Like we detox the block, so we detox the body, we detox the mind, and we reach the soul, and we kind of go, that's what I wanted. And we have to practice what it is that we want instead through our thoughts and feelings, because that is how we create. The first card today is Sovereign. This is when you're standing in your sovereignty. Elizabeth's a lot in the news at the moment, but if you understand what the feeling is of sovereignty, even my posture changes. It is, you're so tall, you're so confident, you are the sovereign. There's nothing that can sway you. You are on course, and you are after your desires and dreams, and there's nothing that matters more than that. You may do certain things and you kind of have all these thoughts and feelings in your head, and you kind of go, is that true? Seriously, is that true? And then, then you can ask yourself another question. So no matter what, am I able to go for this? Does my desire, my dream, my passion matter more than these thoughts and feelings that I'm harboring? And can I let them go? So let's see what Sovereign has to say to us today. Now, Sovereign, beautiful, beautiful purple cloak. You imagine you being a sovereign, you've got your crown on, you've got your staff, all the rest of it. But it's the feeling of feeling sovereign. If you could feel sovereign in your relationships, if you could feel your sovereignty in your physicality and in your business and your finances, you'd be radiating a completely different essence. But of course, we don't always do that. Sovereign, what card do you want me to pick? 5. What card do you want me to pick today, along with the theme that we're looking at? So, Sovereign is one of the 8 dragons, and she comes in to particularly help us get into our soul work, to particularly get into doing the inner work, because this is where your soul resides, and this is where she wants you to know that you are. Okay, so we have card number 37. This is about being... the title of this one is Disconnected, or Have You Never Asked? There's always help there for you. There's always support there for you. The universe has your back. The dragons have your back. Your soul connected to your higher self, connected to God, the mystics. However you see this, there is always help available for you. There's always support. Now, Sovereign has to say about this. Now, this is rather a long thing that she wanted to say. When I got these readings coming through, I was in an interview situation, so I was asking questions, and I had them videoed and then transcribed so that you could actually understand the messages that were coming through, and those transcriptions will be put into a book at a later date when I've made these cards, finished these cards. Right, so Disconnected, or Have You Never Asked? You'll make more of an impact on your environment when you know and attend to your soul connection, and when you become aware when you're adrift. It could be that you're feeling a little lost and, dare I say it, irritated. Some things go wrong and turn out not the way you wanted it, and you could potentially have become adrift, feel like you're disconnected from your soul. Or these could be that you are connected and that you're receiving a message for you to unravel. And this is what was really happening for me at the weekend. So came disconnected from my friend. We couldn't find each other anymore. I had a lot of these thoughts and feelings going through my head, and I was like, that's not true though, is it? So I overcame myself that was getting in my own way. I could have spent the whole afternoon, which could have been a habit, an old habit by the way, spending all my time and energy in worry, rather than think, well, that's just not true. Just absolutely not true. So I'm going to create a different scenario. You have familiar patterns, symptoms, and feelings that you recognize. You recognize them when they appear. Like, I've felt like this before. That is your nudge. That is your message. That is your request to get on board and clear out, zero tolerance for those old thoughts and feelings that do not serve you as you move forward. They turn up and they cause havoc to nudge you, and they are here showing you the way that calls you back to your soul, to know your truth, for you to remember who you are as a powerful creator. Symptoms rise up and persist in your physical body. Similar situations occur within your relationships. Your financial system alters yet again. Your mood is off, as is the state of your energy and what you radiate, which you will now recognize more and more and more. You're like in a catch-22 situation. I've been here before. I've not got out of it. I'm standing in my own way. What do I do next? These are your personal signals to remind you that you are off, and it feels like you are disconnected. As it happens, you're not disconnected, but you are being asked to break that spell and break through a common thought and feeling, or that energetic state that you often find yourself in. Sometimes we dip into this vortex of like, oh God, that's not good. I don't feel good. This is not good. It's not working out. Become aware of your feelings. Really know where you feel it in your body. Be attentive to your energetic state, the stories that are running in your head over and over in those silent times when you are alone. Those common feelings of being pulled down into depression, stories of being a victim, being very tired for no reason, in pain, and needing to force yourself to get up and on with life. Notice when life and your day feels drab, mediocre, hardworking, average, boring, and that you need so much more effort to do even the simplest things. You are experiencing this as your soul is currently asking you to listen, to change your ways, and very likely experiencing that she's being avoided, ignored, she's not mentioned, she's disregarded, even disliked, and certainly not being asked for her contribution to your healing and your growth. You have become disconnected from your whole self and that of your soul. You're off center. You're a little bit adrift. You can never be separate from your soul because you are your soul, but you are just adrift. Your thinking is slightly off. It's in an old pattern that seriously doesn't need to be that way anymore. When you talk badly about your body or your relationships or your finances, when you talk about not having things you want, the negativity that runs through the soul of you, and she feels it. It's like a current of electricity with its own signature frequency and vibration. When you beat yourself up like that, you're beating up your soul. Yet she, your soul, still really, really wants the very best for you. There's no punishment. She wants you to do well, to be happy. She has your back in everything and really does everything for your higher purpose and best interests. So our theme this week is upgrade. So if you have a habitual place that you go into, we all have them. We don't want to look at them. They're not pretty. We really need to be able to understand what it is that we're saying to ourselves, why that's happening. And then there's certain questions that are really profound, deep questions that I ask that allow you to kind of go, oh, I get that. And you understand where the feeling lies in your body. So I'm here to help. I'm here to help connect women with their body, with their soul, so that they can see how they're standing in their own way, so that they can release all of that and get the benefits and actually reach the targets that they're going for. But the only one that's standing in your way is you. You know it, I know it, we all do it, but there are ways to get out of it and kind of go, I see that now. Right, what am I going to do instead? What am I going to do differently? And you start telling a different story. Right, the second card today is Ceremony. Ceremony is the rainbow dragon. She really is all about, look how far you've come. Let's celebrate that. Let's make a decision and really celebrate that. I haven't created anything in my life. And you know, if you've been listening to me before about how I've created houses, how I've created partners, how I've sold houses for the exact amount within days when I'd made a different decision. Even though before it had been on the market for 2 years, with an agent and all the rest of it, I hadn't made a decision to sell it. I hadn't made a decision to sell it at that price. Your decision and your intention is very, very important to the whole thing. Ceremony, what, two, she says, two. What card would you like me to read today? So Ceremony would like me to read number 2. Okay, so this is from the transcripts of the interviews that I did with the dragons. All these came through from the dragons, usually just in their own words. What they did, they communicated to me with a feeling, with the essence of the story, often with images and a story that played out, and I transcribed it. I understood what the feelings were that they wanted to portray, what they wanted to get down, so that you could awaken with the dragons. Even though you're awake, you know about moving into the next paradigm, you know about rejigging your frequency. We still need to be reawoken in different areas of our life where things are not working, and we can have everything working out really well for us. It's just a question of altering the frequency for that particular project, for that particular area in our lives. And of course, we have lots of areas in our lives. We have our beloved relationships, and we have a lot of those. We have our beloved work, our business, our soul work, and we have sometimes more than one area that we concentrate on, but it usually comes from the same essence. And we have to do with our physical body, so how we turn up in the world, how we look, how we feel, and how we treat this body as our temple. Okay, so Ceremony wants us today to understand something from her reading, and this is card number 50 in the 64 deck of Awaken with the Dragon cards. The title of this is Fully Sensory, Multi-Dimensional Perception Being. That is you. If you knew how empathic you were, if you know how much power was in that, when you know what you're feeling and how you can alter what you're feeling into the frequency of being able to change something in your reality. Anyway, I'm going to read the card, and if you have any questions about any of this, please let me know. It's very, very important that we get, down to the nitty gritty of what it is. It's very nice reading this card. Oh yeah, that's nice. But we really want to be able to, do you know what? I don't want that anymore. I want to change that. And that's what I'm here for, is to take you through the process so that you're asking yourself the right questions, you're journaling that out, you're talking it out loud, and you go, there is no judgment as far as I'm concerned, because I tell the stories of myself and how I get stuck down into the swampland of the soul as well. Let's start. Should you ever feel uncertain about following your passion in life and experiencing it fully, invite yourself to explore the expansive world and realms that exist in the playfulness of children. So far, unhindered and still innocent in their imagination on supercharge, unaware of any restriction, any social limits, any boxes that they have to be put in, or rules to adhere to, or make up invisible boundaries restricting growth. Imagination and play is what makes them tick, and what makes you tick, because inside you, you are just a child. You are a human, a fully sensing being who breathes in colour, who lives a lighter, joyful life, not as a burden. It is experiencing the breath of life, the flow of life, who you are, what you came to experience in every sensation that is possible with ease. It feels so light to be glorious with a heart rejoicing. Humans have become so dense and heavy and stuck in survival mode, in their word seriousness, sensible, stuck, stale, surviving. This is what the dragons see when they look at us as humans and they feel into our world. When I do a reading, like what Vision to Source has for you, they say, I'm looking into your world, and this, they give me the feeling of what's going on for that person. This sort of comes off my body whispering. Even your children are asked to be serious these days, to grow up, stop pretending. There's like, oh, it's not, life isn't just for fun. I remember being told something exactly to those words precisely, actually. Fully sensory is a lighter vibrational frequency of existence in your physical form. Multi-dimensional communications at the next generations will know this. They already know this. Our children already know this, and they operate at a very different level to us. They have this knowing of what's available, what's invisible to the eye, but in a different spectrum and not yet in solid form. God, my boys do this all the time. I say, create it. And they say, well, I have, Mummy. I've already imagined myself walking into that college or walking into that school, and I got the certificate and I got this. And they do it already. They playfully imagine that it's already happening, and then within a day or a week or so, we get the letter that they're in, or they've got exactly what they wanted. This multi-sensory experience is real for you, and all while still being on a physical earth, playing with body and gravity. It's an evolution. It's a step up, and this is where our fifth sense, they become our sixth sense. And then our seventh sense and eighth sense. We are just very delicately feeling into what is available and what is beyond, which is coming through in the next generations, probably for our grandchildren. This requires a level of attention and awareness to what you already feel, as well as attending to your energy and the practice of expanding your ability to feel lighter, to feel more of what's available, to feel further than just what we are feeling right now. This encompasses the feeling of what is happening, what's existing, to the feeling and sensing to what's more possible, the bigger capacity of what's available for you. It's playing. You can say it's role playing, acting, but you're changing your identity when you step into that new role. Imagine you step into the role where you feel more sovereign, you feel more confident. It's already happened. You start believing it. You start creating the energy and the frequency that brings it in. For you, it may be difficult to imagine what else is available for you if you have never experienced it. Yet play with your imagination across the colours of your breath and the texture of the air, the waves of feeling, the temperature of thought, the earth element held within an emotion, where an energy is sitting in your body. Roll with it, lean into it, sit with it, experience it. This is the experience of creating. When you are able to feel what is not in existence now, you create it as a form in the invisible realm. And you give it life as you communicate it into life. You and only you give your creation a purpose to exist and bring it to life. Life force energy on your thoughts, in your focus and in your feelings, or what brings it down to earth, so you can experience it in form. You are the creator and you are the magician. Maybe sometimes that's a little bit difficult to understand, that out of thin air you can bring something down via your thoughts and by your feelings, but that's exactly what we're doing. It's like, there's no way on God's green earth I could have sold my house for exactly the right price on the exact day to the exact kind of people that I wanted. But I did, because I just imagined, oh, this couple are going to walk into my house. They're going to love it as much as I do. They bring a daughter with them and she loves it, and they fall in love with my house. We carry on talking and it's sold within half an hour, even though it had been with an agent doing things traditionally for the last 2 years. My decision had changed. I knew exactly that I wanted someone else to love that house as much as I had loved it. Card number 3 today is Bloom. Bloom is often the pretty pink dragon. She's like a huge big camellia bush. And you see her and you just go, oh, wow, you are so full of blossom. You are blossoming. You're flourishing. You look amazing. You look so happy. This pink dragon often is winking at you to kind of say, expand into what next is possible. So on the theme of upgrade, interesting, I'm going to give you the answer even before I ask, what card would you like me to read? Number 1, please, Fiona. So this is card number 41 and card number 1 for Bloom. Okay, so perfect. We're talking about the theme of upgrading. If you're creating a new theme for your body, upgrading your computer. I've just got a new computer. My old one is sitting there. It was burning the midnight oil. It was really getting stuck. So, oh wow, this is a long one. If you're upgrading something, this is what Bloom has to tell you about it today. Create the feeling you want to experience the most. This is where you have to get playful, be childlike, and use your imagination. And this is a stumbling block for a lot of people, and that's why I run the courses that I do, because we haven't allowed ourselves, this was a sticking point for me as far as business was concerned for a very long time. I didn't allow myself to feel into it because I had so many different ideas of what it could potentially feel like. So this is what she wants to say. You may have found so many reasons not to do this so far. Sounds familiar. The life force of your creation needs the space to land. So enjoy the value of making this important enough for you to invest in your mind, your body, and your soul to bring this into your whole mind, body experience. You're bringing it to life. If you look at what Ceremony was just telling us, you're bringing it to life by imagining it and loving it being here. It's like you see a car that you want and you imagine it like Herbie. What number was Herbie? 53? And he's jumping up and down and he's so happy and he wants to be with you as much as you want him to be, as much as you want to be with him. So it's you bring it into life when you start thinking about something. So create the reality in the invisible realm and create a space, a sanctuary for this to land, to be born, to develop, to grow and bring it to life. There's no way I could have had half the things that I've had if I hadn't have imagined and felt into them energetically what it was going to feel like when they were in my life. I mean, my partner, my kids, certain events, selling houses, going on a holiday, going on a trip. When I go to my ecstatic dance sometimes on a Wednesday or a Friday, I'm like, oh, what do I want to experience? Oh, thumping track. And I imagine what it's going to feel like. And it's always like that or better. Can you feel what it's like to have the feeling inside you of what it is that you most deeply desire today? There is a game you can play of stepping into the character, a version of you that has this very experience you desire the most. For this example, we use the experience of being loved as the opening to the embodiment of what it is that you want to experience. This game of creation with your feelings has incremental steps and will allow you to play and feel the experience that you want to go on and create, and that you are dreaming of the most, as real as it is here right now. The feeling to receive love is a great example, as it has its root in all creations. Many, many, many of you humans feel that you have not received the love that you wanted, and therefore you continue to dream about how much love you would have liked to have experienced. You're thinking in the past. As we upgrade, we also need to upgrade our acceptance and decide that we are loved. And that can be one of the biggest blocks, is feeling that you are unlovable or not good enough. So for you as a person who has grown up feeling a lack of love and that you haven't experienced the amount or depth of love that you want to experience, you could start to feel small. You can find something that helps you to feel into what love feels like. It could be, and in many cases, the easiest case is taking in an experience of having a puppy or a kitten to play with. Sometimes it can be enough for you to think about your children or a particular person But sometimes then, of course, people do their own thing and can taint the whole experience. However, puppies and kittens, things that are innocents, have a very simple way to start you opening your heart and feeling that you have experienced the love. You have experienced being loved and giving love. So you take that beautiful innocent puppy and you bring in that feeling right into your body. And you can have it, the kitten or the puppy, wriggling in your arms, giving you little bites. You're playing with the puppy just for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and you let that experience grow. Use your imagination and feel that it is really here. It's here. It's physical. Feel it. Close your eyes. Feel the warmth. Step into the character of the child or the teenager or the adult who is on the floor playing with this innocent puppy. And that's just so much fun, and biting and rolling over, and it smells just like a puppy does. And all those fantastic feelings. It's so wriggly and exuberant. It's naughty and adventurous and has no fear. It's running up and biting your hands and chewing your sleeve and pulling and tugging at your clothes. And then all of a sudden, it just falls asleep in your arms. Its big, round, soft belly moving up and down as it sleeps. You can feel your body is your introduction to the creation of innocence and unconditional feeling of love. And bringing that fully into your body. You can feel the weight of the puppy. You can smell the smell of the puppy. And you can feel the texture of its coat. You can also ask, please show me how much I am loved. Please show me in my body, give me a feeling inside that I can relate to as to how much I am loved and how much you, my soul, connected to my higher self in the heavens, feel about me. And when you allow yourself to feel that, you will have a sensation inside your body that is undoubtedly how they feel about you. And it's immense. And every single time, it doesn't matter how many times you ask, we will give you a sensation in your body of what it feels like to be loved. You will feel it inside your body, and then you will begin to believe it. You are loved. And then you know that you can create that feeling, then you can create any feeling and frequency inside your body. Bloom. Blooming marvellous. Done it again, darling. Utopia is the coming to the edge of the rainbow. You've gone through an awful lot. You're at the edge of the rainbow. And Utopia will have a message for you today along with this theme, this upgrade theme. So let's just see what she has to say today. What card? 3. She wants card number 3 today to keep in alignment with the... Alright, okay, cool. Whew. Big. Number 3 for Utopia, and overall card number 59 in the deck. This one, funnily enough, is called Beyond Love and What We Know as Love. I must get myself a big bottle of water in here. So we're talking about upgrading, and of course if we're upgrading our computers, our cars, how we treat our body, how we eat, our relationships, how we think about other people, relationships to everything, relationship to our business, our finances, and our relationship to love. There is an expansion beyond love. It's not necessary for the majority of the population to know about this, but the more the population has the ability and are available to step more into the frequency of love. As you want to know more about love, then that will be a massive transformation for the planet's vibration. An upgrade. For those of you who want to know what is beyond love, it's a feeling of mass expansion, contentedness to every single particle of the world, connected to being able to love everything and everyone. This is the state you might decide to call bliss, pure bliss, which is a word which already exists. The feeling is being in awe, in wonder, like a childlike wonder, that state. And these would also be other descriptive, adequate words for the feeling that is beyond love. You can call it enlightened, blissful. There is a feeling that goes along with this in the human body, and it's quite filling, heavy, expansive. So it's really difficult to contain, difficult to understand, but then again mind-blowing. And it's almost like being an enlightened being, as you would imagine Buddha or Jesus being, who were just in love, accepting the whole time. I play a game sometime and I want to feel into how other people feel who have got the qualities that I'm wanting to upgrade into. And this is always a massive expansion in your core, in your ability to love and accept and trust and have faith. The feeling that is beyond love at the same time has a weightlessness feeling. And it is a state that you can cross over in your vibration, and you can talk to other dimensions, interspecies communication, soul-to-soul communication. It's when you are able to see across the different light spectrums. It's almost being able to feel across the different frequencies and vibrations and spectrums as well. So you start to be able to feel and believe tactily what it feels like to be in a different state. To know bliss is beyond love, and I can only have an image of it, and I can't necessarily give you all the words to describe it, as words are such a basic language to be able to describe such an experience, because it creates a feeling within the body. Beyond love is where everything, if you can imagine, is brighter, more colourful, intense details and colours. There is an easier sense of what's around you. You're more in flow and a rolling feeling as you're really being used as a channel and a conduit for energy, as you are connected head to toe from heavens to earth. You are tethered to the heavens and the earth. You are supported on the life force energy line that runs all the way through you as a conduit. Anyone who's done Reiki or any healing will already know this and experience this. Your visions are not an earthly vision. It is that you can almost see another dimensional being. You see into, through, and around things, across the light spectrum. You hear across the wider bandwidth. You see with new eyes and hear with new ears. All your senses are heightened, and this makes you so totally happy and complete, compassionate. You are on the world as you know it, but not of the world as you know it, if that makes sense. You are a being of otherworldliness. This state of bliss is what we attribute to enlightened or awakened masters. We're being asked to upgrade, and whatever next step you are upgrading to, it is always an expansion. You don't believe that you can take in another good feeling. You don't believe you can take in another breath because it is so intense and it's so fulfilling. At the weekend when I was in the mountains and by the river and having a picnic, I could hardly eat my lunch because I was already full. I'd fed my soul. I was so full and in awe and happy where I was, that the food and the things that we use to fill ourselves up are superfluous. They're not necessary anymore because we've already fed our soul, and we need so little, in fact, of physical nutrition, funnily enough, when we are so full on a soul level. It can use all the elements around us to fulfill us and to give us the nutrients that we need. And this has been wonderful. These themes are being upgraded. Just allow you to notice when you're not feeling like that. When you notice a block coming up, detox the block. I'm here helping women every single week detox their blocks, having soul readings and having consultations just to see what's going on under the subconscious and how we can step out of our own way. It's not fun when we know we're going around in circles and catch-22, like, I've been here before, I just keep standing in my own way. It is because there is a belief there. There's about 12 or 14 core beliefs that most things come down to. A lot of them is to do with feeling unloved, unworthy, feeling you need to be in control, there's fear going on. And the whole point is to release those and break through those. And I am going to be doing some more courses just to help you break through those on whatever subject is going on for you. There is definitely work to be done. I might do an intensive 5-day course actually about breaking through some of your core beliefs, because they really are a massive sticking point. And once we've broken through our core beliefs, it's so much easier then to create something out of thin air and go for our goals rather than thinking we have to stay stuck and stay in the same energy for the rest of our lives, because that's just not fun at all. I told you about my camping trip the other week because cars were broken down and I desperately wanted to go camping. So I created a hire car, and I even knew what I wanted to pay for it. It was like $150 for a week, no problem. And I got a very economical car, very cool, and the boys and I all went camping. So my whole intention was to have an experience, an adventure with my boys, to go camping, for the weather to be great, and it was. And it was just such an experience of being in awe and in wonder. And this is when you create it. Now, what did come up for me when the cars were broken, I was just like, oh my God, the cars are broken. It's going to cost money to get those fixed. But it was stronger for me to have the intention of going and having an adventure than giving into the worry and the fear of how much it was going to cost to fix my car and, hell, rent a car just so that I could go and have an adventure. This is when you're in the creation mode, and this is what the dragons want you to know. It's only a thought and a feeling, and you're creating the world around you depending what you're thinking and what you're feeling. So we need to change what we're thinking and feeling, recognize what it is that we do think and feel, and then choose a different feeling. And this is what Sovereign Ceremony, Bloom and Utopia was showing us today, of how we get into another feeling. If we can get into the feeling of love through a puppy and a kitten, we can get into the feeling of success. We can get into the feeling of an adventure. We can get into the feeling of having a hire car turn up for us. We can get into the feeling of when we go ecstatic dancing and they're playing the most amazing music. You make a decision and then you live by it. You commit to it. You sign that contract with yourself that, no, I'm not gonna compromise on this anymore. This is, we are not wanting to compromise and give up and live mediocre lives anymore. If there's anything I would want to change, it's that people are living average, boring, mundane lives of obligation and survival. It's just not necessary. Look, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Please let me know how that landed with you, how it sat, what came up for you. If you know you've got blocks, then let me know. I've been through my blocks and they swiftly move things out of the way. And it's not that they disappear forever, it's the fact that you get to recognize your core block. Most people have 3 core blocks, by the way. 1 major one and then 2 subsidiary. And these can really just keep on playing up there, play out in your relationships, they'll play out in your finances. The same stories will keep on coming back. So let me know how that landed for you and what was in your subconscious and what you need to step out of the way of. Have a wonderful week. I'll be back again in the middle of the week. Bye.